So the two pirushim, ze oni kora v'Hashem shemeya. Two pirushim. So ze goes on Moishe Rabbeinu. This, as the pasuk says, ki ze Moishe ha'ish. Explained yesterday, because ze means gilui. Something is revealed and present before you that you can see with your own eyes. So he's gilui likus. Ze oni is the opposite, of course, poor, impoverished. Ein oni elevadas. You don't see, understand godliness. So the first pirush is based on the Zohar. There's Tfilah LaMoshe, he's the Zeh, he's the Osher, he's the spiritually rich person, and Tfilah LaOni. And the Zohar says that they are equal. Melamed, it seems, just from the words, Tfilah LaMoshe and Tfilah LaOni, the same language is used, so they're equal. Moreover, the Zohar says, with Be'emes, the Oni takes precedence. That's why we put on Tfilah Shel Yad, the weaker hand, before the head, which is enlightenment. That's one pirush. And then there's a pirush that refers to Moishe Rabbeinu himself. That was the first pirush is like equating Moishe and David, because David says Tfilah LaOni. But the second pirush is that this pasuk is talking about Moishe Rabbeinu himself, that notwithstanding that he was an Asher, so he, because of his great humility, therefore, Moshe himself calls himself Oni Korah, that even Moshe Rabbeinu paled in himself the inyan of this humility of Tfilas Oni. That is the second pirush. Now is Gimel. Habitl the Oni k'fishabef and shesol ois min atzma roshin. So we're saying that Moishe Rabbeinu is not really poor, but he pales this. Now that's similar to what we said about Eden, min ha-meitzar, mireshis shana, that Eden make themselves poor, in brackets, hainu shevemes, einon roshim, they're not poor. Ki v'rak oisin atzma roshim, they make themselves poor, al yedei zeh meisim atzma kishrayim, that's the passage we're talking about, that we started to explain that the shade is nachalosai. The Gemara explains what does it mean, the rim of his inheritance. Those who make themselves, again, the same lashon, oisin atzma lashon. They make themselves like their residual and so on. So obviously, this is ein bittul be'etzem. This is not naturally and essentially humble. Ki im bittul shebal yedei yisboninus. It comes through a meditation in the face of Atzmos and so on. It comes through a meditation. But there's a higher level of bittul. Like a simple, poor person. He doesn't have to have any meditation, doesn't have to think about anything. As the Mittler Rebbe says, all he has to just remember, doesn't have to think about it, just the moment he he just remembers his poverty. He cries out with the bitterness of his soul immediately. There's no need for a lengthy meditation or any meditation at all. Just acknowledge the facts. So it's got to be in the end true. How could this kind of bittul be true and apply to someone who's truly spiritually wealthy and rich? Like Moishe and David. And the Rabbi gives an extraordinary answer. It doesn't say anywhere else in Chassidus. The Rebbe says you can suggest as much because of Parsha saying no. This is in our Parsha Vayelech. Vayelech Moishe went, he went to all the tribes, YOM, and he said, Ben Mei Esim Shana Anechi HaYom, I'm 120 years today. The Yuchal Oid Lotzes Vadove can no longer go out, take you out and bring you in. So Rashi brings from Chazal Melamed, this teaches us Shenistimu Mimenu Mesoiris Mayonis HaChachma. And it's me that teaches us that it was closed up from Moishe Rabbeinu, Mercedes, the traditions and the well springs of wisdom. Mercedes means which is being handed down. It's all closed up. Things handed down from modern tradition already. When the well springs of wisdom will close for him. Moving. So that represents that Moishe Rabbeinu achieved this kind of bittul on the last day of his physical life. So when such a thing happens and it closes up, Moishe didn't have to make himself like a poor person. This is a poor person that calls out because of his humility. He's boundless, like we said before. Why was he humble till this point? Because he considered if someone else had his abilities, he may have done better. Elo, that's not the matzav now in Parshas Vayelech on the day of his histalkos. Nice in mind with the matzav shel oni mamish. Here he reached the level of mamish onish in his okal. He's born in his klal. He doesn't have to meditate. It's closed up. Gewalt. Miyad bocha yifke. And immediately he cries exceedingly. So that's the represents that Moishe Rabbeinu achieved this, it seems, just on this moment. In light of this will be understood. Understand that after his achievements of his entire life, what did he achieve? He achieved the 49th level of bina. Chamishim, the words of the Gemara, it's 50 chaser achas. That's how it's described, not 49, but 50 minus 1. He lacked a little bit from God. The divine is chamishim. That's to emphasize that the lack here, that there's chamishim is a whole different level. It's not just another level. It's a whole different level, and he got everywhere till there. So it's known that on David's histalkos we're saying now vayelech Moishe and nistim mimenu meseirus mayones hachachman. This day hisigam sharanun debina. In light of the above, we can appreciate that he got this 50th level. So what closed up? The well springs of understanding closed up. What did he get? If higher. Sharanun, the 50th level. Beyond mayones hachachman. The Maggid says, and explaining the pasuk, Moshe went up to Mount Nevoy. That's where his histalkos. Says the Maggid, how it's har Nevoy, Nevoy hainu nun boy. The word Nevoy is nun boy. Here, in this, now he achieved the 50th level. Now, a question is, I was unpacking this for us. How does this fit with what Chazal told us? This day, Chachma closed, blocked from him. But the Rebbe's kids didn't disappear from him. We didn't forget it. It just blocked. Because there's another Lashon Chazal that Nishkechu. It's not the one that Rashi brings. But how does it fit? Either way, it's blocked. Given Shenistamen, or the wisdom is blocked. How does it get even a higher level? But now we understand this. But the matter is, that's the point. Dafka, because these levels were blocked, which induced this natural and deep bittul and meitzar. That's why he reached the Sharanun. When the well springs were blocked up, he was truly in a matzav of meitzav. His bonus, he wasn't as he was till now, humble because of his consideration, of his meditation, because of his maturity. Because you understood, no matter how lofty he reaches relative to a higher level, it's still a meitzav. That's a humility which is not absolute, but like humility. Because at the end of the day, he's not broken. He's not humble to the core of his being. He's humble, relatively. He remains with his achievements and riches and spiritual wealth, but not now. Not on this day. But for us, so you say, tefillas oni mamish. But here it's mamish tefillas oni. But Yidei ze bol merchava amiti, and here Moishe Rabbeinu achieved the merchava amiti. Shebesoif hayom. That's interesting. The end of the day, because that's when he went up to Har Nevoy. The end of the day, zocha legilu sharat non debina. The last day of his physical life, he was zoicha to the sharat hano on the bina, and dafke because of the bitl. It's quite extraordinary, yeah. I haven't learned further. We'll learn further together. Yeah, you say something? Speak up, yeah?
Isn't it said that Moishe Rabbeinu was the most humble person ever?
So that humility was his boldness induced. And this was better he's saying. Because he considered if somebody else would have his mileage, he would have done better. So it's b'chaf adimian, this bittul. He's making himself bottle through a meditation. That's oisim atzmei roshin. But here he's not making himself like this, the poor person. He's making himself, crushed. He is crushed. As soon as he's aware of his matzav, he's crushed. So Moshe Rabbeinu is aware of the matzav, nistamu, it's closed. Closed, the understanding of Velikus. What's the Mayonas HaChachma? The well springs of wisdom, of godliness, were closed. And he was a matzav of mamish of oni. That's when he was Eichat Sharanon. I don't know if says it anywhere else. I mean, it doesn't for sure. It's the Rebbe's Chiddush. I wonder if the Rebbe even repeated it ever. Just one Maimer. Shabbos Shuvah Tavshin Chavav.
What's the Chiddush?
Huh?
The Chiddush is that
He was an Oni Be'etzim on the day of the Istalkus.
saying the Chiddush is that Moshe reached the mission.
That's how he reached the Chamishim. That's why.
The Chiddush that he reached it, or the Chiddush is how he reached it?
No, how?
Right.
The Maggid says that he reached it then on the day of Istalkus. That's Merumas in he went up to Har Nevoy, Nun Boy. The beer here is how he got it, and the beer here also otherwise answers the question we had before the Maimah. The Maggid says he reached Har Nun. How does it fit with Maimah Chazal? That Nisrim Mimenu Meseris Mayanas Chochma, they're all blocked. The Mayanas, the wisdom blocked, and reached the 50th gate. It's an unanswered question. The Rebbe answers it here. Because Dafke because of Nisrim, not because of the Bittul. We're clear, friends? Friends on the Zoom, guys. Where are you? In the mikveh now? Where are you? Guys in the Zoom? No.
Not in the mikveh, Rabbi.
You already mikveh. Yes, so we're clear. This explains how on the one hand the wells of wisdom closed, and then the Maggid says on this day it reached the 50th. Not the Dafke because of that. Dafke because Moshe Rabbeinu's the Rebbe's words here, Bocha Yivker, he cried. Miyad Bocha Yivker, certainly cried. Oni Mamish, all blocked. Then he connect. So just to add a little hasbara here. So what it means is that the Shara Nun is not an intellectual thing. It's not a level of understanding. It's totally beyond. It's the Eibush himself. That is beyond Seich. That's what he connects to. And his bittles, that was the connection. The Shara Nun is you. Al Cheshech Atanu Lefanecha. It's Lefanecha. Just to elaborate, since There's beautiful sikhs of the Rebbe on Shuvah and Rambam, and they're like really foundational. Everybody has to learn. Share with you just one Nakuda here. So the Rambam says that Yom Kippurim is man Shuvah l'koil. Everybody has to do Shuvah. Even, and Shuvah for Avedas you have long renounced, no longer doing, and the Shuvah previous years, and you're being faithful. It's every year. And then so the Shaila is, but I've already done Shuvah. Why am I dragging this up? It's a history, it's years ago. Shaila number one. Shaila number two, Lashon Rambam, but Alter brings it also, that Shuvah is regret of what you did, and so on. Charata, regret, resolve for the future. U'mishanyin kol ma'asav l'toiv, and he changes all of his actions for good. And these words, kol ma'asav, imply even his mitzvahs. Mishanin change all his actions for good. Everything. About mitzvahs. Who was talking about mitzvahs? Shuvah was about Avedas. So the Nakudah, there's two levels to Shuvah. One Shuvah is, I messed up, I got to fix it. I broke this, I got to fix it. That's year-round Shuvah. Shuvah of Yom Kippur, when the Eibush is revealed, Shara Nun, friends, is revealed to all of us. This is Yechidah. Ne'ilah, but it's the whole Yom Kippur, just culmination is Ne'ilah. Then the problem with the sin, friends, is not that I messed up, it's how did I fail you? How did I hurt you? It's a different Shuvah. You love me so much, and you still, despite everything, and you want to be part of my life. And the more we appreciate our gifts, appreciate the Eibishter, the more, it's a whole different Shuvah. How could I have done it to you? So the more I appreciate you, the more shame that I feel. Even though I've regretted what I did, and I don't do it anymore, but it's now not about me, but it's about what I did to you. Ha'tshech. That's the Shuvah of Yom Kippur. And that changes even the mitzvahs. Even my mitzvahs. How sensitive was it to you? How appreciated? How sincere? How devoted was my mitzvahs? You give me everything. That's selfish. You are everything. So it's Shuvah even on the mitzvahs. Mashanin kol ma'asav l'toiva. There's a beautiful moshel. I've shared this with you. This moshel, friends, it's a book you all got to get. It was published in the 40s. And the first book's Chabad published, the complete story of Tishri. And then they have another volume on the 5 on Chanukah and Purim and Pesach. Yeah, classic works. Published in the 40s, they're just beautiful to read. Anyway, so there's right in that book, the Rebbe edited this book before the Nesius. There's a beautiful moshel. It's a story, a real story which happened. The story is Rab Sadia Gaon. Rab Sadia Gaon, the great Rab Sadia Gaon, was once traveling. And he was traveling, and he came to an inn owned by a Jewish innkeeper who didn't know that he was receiving Rab Sadia Gaon. Finished. He received him, gave him his keys to his room. He may have come with some people, a towel, soap, whatever. The next day, people started to stream to the hotel, to the inn, to see Rab Sadia Gaon, to receive his bracha and his shaylis in halacha. They came. He was from the most outstanding Goinim, Jewish leaders in our history. So the innkeeper realized that the guest that he'd received the night before is Rab Sadia Gaon. So he falls at his feet, begging for forgiveness. Forgive me, Rebbe, forgive me. Rab Sadia Gaon picks him up, gives him a kiss on the forehead. My dear man, there's nothing to ask for forgiveness. But what? He says, yeah, Rebbe, but the way I received you last night, Rab Sadia Gaon said everything was in perfect order. It was nothing lacking. Yes, the tearful innkeeper says, but had I known it was you, it would be completely different. He did a good thing. He received him graciously. I known it was you. It's all. So as our appreciation, we probably should get older, friends, and we mature a little bit. It's not even chassidus, not even just getting older and just facing life and the appreciation of every moment that you wake up and you can breathe. And Baruch Hashem, the children are healthy and panasa and all the blessing you have. As we get older, maturity, did I thank you for this properly? And my biggest thank you, did I thank you? It was good for them, but now it's a whole new thanks for everything till now. It's transformative of everything till now. That's Yom Kippur. And therefore, on Yom Kippur, it's not a question of dragging up every sin I ever did. As Manas Sweden puts it, what a terrible waste of Yom Kippur to think about every stupid thing you did. That's what it's all about. The emphasis is lefanecha, not the chet, lefanecha. Lefanecha, that's the emphasis. And I always tell you this every year because there's certain things leave a big impression. We were teenagers. Our teacher, Rabbi Glick, told us, when you do this, it's not, oh, that was fun, enjoyed that one. You're not stroking your heart because it's pounding the heart. There was a kid in MTC, he's a shliach today, Grossbaum, Chaim's nephew. He used to live by Chaim because his parents were shlichus in the I forgot the names already. Please forgive me those who are listening. Getting old. He's a little kid, the old MTC. All of them seen that.
He was so cute. Where is he now?
He's a shlichus. He's a shlichus with this.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember? So Lou Adler couldn't do Olav Shalom. I should mention his name. Lou. Olav Shalom, the shul bears his name. He helped put us on the map. He was a big part of that tzlacha of MTC. So Lou was so taken by this kid. First of all, he sang with all his heart. Yeah. But it came to the Alchet. It's a small shul, the Carry Square. The kid is pounding his heart, the whole shul. Good to hear him pounding his heart with all sincerity. Now, that is Ibn Gil David. Yeah, second paragraph. I say. So we explained this Benegir Moishe Rabbeinu, that Moishe Rabbeinu Taka reached this mamash, this level of Sharanun. This is the Fanecha, Dafka to real bittul, not his bonus induced, but that was his matzav. All the well springs blocked up. Now then, as the Benegir David commissions Berliel Shomar David, like we said before, that the Demashin is Berliel, that which we said before. We pointed out that on the one hand, he says, Hashem, incline your ear to me, answer me, because I am poor and destitute. And then the next pasuk he says, protect God, my soul, because I'm a chassid. So are you impoverished or are you spiritually rich? Now, same teretz. Even though he was taka chosim, that I guess Asher, he was spiritually wealthy, he made himself poor. So making yourself poor, that again, that's induced through what? Through a meditation. If someone will have my koichas and my background and my parents, etc., etc. So when did he have to make himself poor? When he's sitting on his throne. Then he had to make himself again through consideration, through his bonus. But just like Moshe Rabbeinu on the day of his istalko, so too by David. What's the mice of David? But David had the mind of the matzav of Oni. When he was banished, when he was fleeing Avshalom b'Yosef in Midbar Yehuda, he was in the desert, the Yehuda desert. Shaz Omar, he said, Ki Gershuni, I've been banished, mistapach benach Hashem, to step, to tread in the inheritance of Hashem, the Mishkan. And there, it's a kapitel Samar Gimel. And then, V'lochi nasa etzloi, Maimed the Matzav, and that's when in the Midbar Yehuda, when he was banished from the Mishkan, that was the Matzav of Tzomalacha Nafshi. My soul thirsts for you. Kamalacha B'sori, my soul longs, my flesh longs for you. Beretziv Oyibli Moyim, in a land that is void, empty. Tzia of Oyev means tired. Believe Moyim, exhausted without water. Shazel Maim with the Matzav Shal Meitzah Mamish. David the Melech was in a Maim with the Matzav of Meitzah. He connected to the true broadness. That's the Shar Hanun. That's the Lefanecha. That's Yom Kippur. And then he said, continues to say, Kain ba'kodesh chazisicha. So the simple meaning is, indeed, I long to see you in holiness. I want to be back in the with the Mishkan as in Shiloh. But Bashem Tev touched. What's the gain? Halavai ba'kodesh chazisicha. Halavai, when I'm in holiness, I should have this bittul, this longing for you. Even when he is in a place of divine revelation of holiness. So what's this bittul there? You have to make yourself poor. Through a consideration, through a meditation. There are higher levels, how the person will do better, and all of the considerations. Halavai, then he wished himself. The thirst, the longing, with the same humility, the same memes, bittul. Not that I'm missing a level. I have nothing. In the same way, like he was, like one is in a state of a real oni as he was in Midbar Yehud. So let's see something here. Second. 1 second, please. I can't believe this. 1 minute. Sorry. Just want to check something. Yeah. Okay. Move on. Yes, we want to be friends. Gam in the Mesa Masim Kishirayim. So till now we spoke about who David, Moishe and David. And I'll understand also the Bechlal. So this thing of we make ourselves poor. That's through a consideration, through a meditation that induces humility. But there, however, there's also a way for even for us that we need. Not only is the level of humility induced by, again, maturity, consideration, and so on, but you're not really poor, but you're like you're poor. But there's also the avodah where is mamash shirayim, mamash bittul be'emes be'etzem. How is that? V'yashleim v'shazur yamayla the Shabbat Shuvah. Lagabe yemei achel that is aseres Shuvah. This is the Ma'alim Shabbat Shuvah compared to the rest of the weekdays of Aseres Shuvah. Some applies to Yom Kippur too, we'll see. Dini Mashis Berli always said before. Shesh Gimel time Batzarech Le'yis Meis Maskum Shabbat gave 3 reasons why there has to be the bittul, even though the level that's being revealed is unconditional. Still, we gave the 3 reasons why it could not be manifest, and that's why you need bittul without repeating them. You remember them. When is that required? That's in the weekday. Shabbos, we don't have to worry about those problems that the bittul would take care of. And he addresses it now. Leishayich Tamabeis, well, the second reason you recall was what? Since it's coming from a level, you give Midas HaRachmim, a place where light and dark are equal. If Hashem's going to reveal that to us, they can go in the wrong place. Like we said, the Ganav exploits his emunah to steal. Dafka because of emunah. So you have to have the bittul, to the Kavon Elyon. But that doesn't apply to Shabbos. Given Shabbos, saying Mokim, Yenikras HaChitzonim, Shabbos is an Atzmizdika revelation where there's no room for the extraneous, for Klippa to gorge itself, to feed. Kidu being in Perish Chagechem, it's a pasuk in Malachi. The Eibishter says that the Navi is critical of Eden, and Hashem says, I will scatter the dung of your karbonis back in your face. I don't want your karbonis. Here. But Kidua, it says Chagechem of your Chagim. Shabbatchem. But not Shabbos. Even in that matzav that the Navi is critical. Why? Because Shabbos is not Yenikid Chitzonim. Your Yom Tov Karbonis, not your Shabbos Karbonis. Shalchein mitzvah anikas Shabbos b'enig v'achil shtia. It's a mitzvah on Shabbos to indulge, to delight in food and drink. What about Yenikid Chitzonim? There's no Yenikah. Why? Because being Shal mitzvah l'shayich perish. Because since it's a mitzvah on Shabbos, like perish means scatter. That's the lashon of the pasuk. Hashem is not throwing it back in our face. So that's the second reason. I mean, Chitzonim is not shayich on Shabbos. And the first reason we said was there has to be a keli. What do we say? That the Midas Racham has an element of din, but the mercy dominates. That was the first point. The first point was since it comes down into our world, so that you have to have the keli. Midas, it's a midas, and there's midas adin mixed with it. So midas adin, therefore, the keli you have to make an appropriate keli in your own midas adin, as it were. Asar shlim. Because Hashem gives it in the way of midah. So if it's going to be measured to you, then you have to be a keli for it, to receive it. There's an element of midas adin. That was the first teretz. And therefore it requires an appropriate vessel. But Shabbos, kol dinim misabim mina. Shabbos, we say in the Kegavna, all dinim are removed from it. There's no dinim on Shabbos. So that's the first reason. So what's left is only the third reason. What was the third reason? What was the third reason? We have to have that way the bit because we could get blocked. That's all that's left. Today, there's a third reason we gave why I need the bitl in order actually can come down to the person, not remain blocked l'maylo. So how does it translate? When it comes to Shabbos, can conclude. The matter is as follows. I think we should stop. It's 5 to 7. We need to start davening on time. And it's an early day. Okay, so we're getting a sense here, and some of Makoshkin Yom Kippur, that there's bitl be'etzem Yom Kippur, and not Mesim Asma Kishirayim. Okay, it's all one. The Kula Lefanach. It's a book. I remember FARBRENGEN. We're sitting with my friends, and Berkovich. My name coming to me. It's just my spia in Los Angeles. No, you know what I'm talking about. It's my age. Rabbi Shalom.
Shpion, LA.
Huh?
Shpion?
Huh?
Yeshiva?
Yeah, I don't think it's in yeshiva. Apologies. I'm scared of what's happening to my memory. Anyway, if I'm bringing it together there, he was crying. Vara beinecha sisi. We say in the capital on Aleph, we say, every night, the simple meaning is the evil that's in your eyes, I did. So he was saying, you touch vara beinecha in your presence. It's the fanecha. In your panim arayin. Understand the difference? Not vara beinecha sisi, what you consider bad, I did. It's beinecha, I did it in your presence, in front of you. How could I be so insensitive?